We'll start.
Miranda, how goes?
Let us begin.
You were ready to go to City Hall?
Well, I just want to make sure. I did that once before, the other end.
No, I understand.
Usually that's.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is what, 7 or 8 minutes after 10 o'clock, meeting's called to order. Regular meeting review of the minutes.
All righty. The minutes are good. Not, should be.
That sounds very easy. Is there a motion to approve minutes?
Yes.
And a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The minutes are approved. Thanks, Jan.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And we've got basically some C of A votes,
Yes,
and then Walter Chatham will be presenting 31 Elm Street.
Okay. First up is 322 Lawrence Street, and that was, if all remember, the meat hook sign.
Yeah. Nice sign.
You guys are becoming Joe and Mika. Come on, let Jan finish this,
So,
her thought.
and that is where the Red Oaks venue was, and all they're doing is repainting.
Okay,
We love the sign.
It's a great sign.
motion to approve the C of A,
Yes.
prepared by the city attorney. That was Miranda and you, all in favor?
All right.
Approved.
Okay.
Okay, next up is 327, which is the VNR sign. And that was the MDO hanging sign. And I believe that was the sign that was moved. This is just the old sign that has been moved. Is that right, Victoria?
Oh, I'm not sure about it being moved, but it was just a simple black and white sign.
Yeah. it's-
Yes, okay.
Okay,
Motion to approve?
motion to approve Miranda, second by you, all in favor? Approved.
And next up is
540.
548, yes, 548, 550. And this had a blank date on it, Victoria. So would you like me
We
to fill that in?
Yes, please. We didn't have we couldn't find a copy of the application, so if you could fill the information in, that'd be helpful.
Okay, would you like me to put the date in that's on the application? Or
Yes.
today's date?
It's the
Well-
date of application.
It's date of application.
Okay, I'll find that in my files and do that. Do you want me to do that now or?
If you could, because I'd love to punch these out as soon
Okay.
as I can.
Okay. Let's see. See, they,
And nothing else.
it's, it was Valentine's Day, February 14th.
Okay, I'll put that on my side.
Thumb down. Okay. Okay.
So, and this is the double-sided bracketed sign at 548.
That was ordered, yes.
We voted that.
Yes,
So 24 Park Place.
it's called Jamestown.
Yeah.
Did we voted that already?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then we have 24, and our applicants are here. And this is, was for the approval of the new wall sign, new window, and restoration of the existing door with removal of brick to uncover the transom window and installation of frosted glass. And installation of the awning. They're taking the existing awning, moving it around the corner and creating a new awning facing the park.
Okay. Motion, Kim and you,
Yeah.
all in favor? It's approved.
She didn't have to come.
It's nice that
But it's
you-
nice that you did.
There's 11 is Phil sign and stamp EC of A's and send them to me. I'll probably have them Monday.
Okay, great.
And then I'll swing by and get the permit, sign your permit and all that stuff. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend.
Thanks,
You too.
guys. And what we're looking at now is non-union. And Victoria, I checked this against the minutes, but would you, if you want to speak on it, it was a little confusing, but I think you got it.
Yeah, so in this application, the applicant, I think it was hard to follow the presentation because he wanted to either repair or replace several of the windows. And we told him he needed to make a decision for purposes of the C of A. So what we captured, and maybe I can pull up the plans if you want. What we captured was that some of the windows are going to be modified and replaced. Some of them are just going to be replaced in the same window hole. And then there were changes to the deck and basement door.
Right, so the way the C of A reads is that she's really called out the openings that can correspond to his application. It was pretty, so it was when he numbered the windows. And then the biggest thing of the basement door, and then he's reducing the width of the deck to allow more sun in. This is all in the rear of the building.
Got it.
And then there were also 2 models of windows proposed,
Correct. Right.
I believe. So I added in the conditions that they all had to be the same model and make.
Good.
Yeah, that was a smart way to deal with that, yeah.
Good.
Here's, she's called this out here with conditions. Okay.
It's great.
Motion you
Yeah.
and a second Kim, all in favor? Any opposed? Approved.
Okay. And next up is 116, which also was,
Oh, this was the house by Mr. Haddad that needed the foundation work.
yeah,
But we didn't have all the details. And so the C of A limits the approval to just the siding, restoration and replacement, and the rough window openings. And he'll need to come back with the details for everything else.
Right.
right. So it's really this paragraph and up here. He was
Right.
really talking about, I think, shoring up the rear of the building and then coming back to us with more specifics.
Okay.
You making a motion, Brenda? A second? All in favor? Approved.
And then that is that. And now we have 31 Allen Street, which is Walter Chatham's project. And I will bring that up. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Walter.
Hi.
It took a while. I'm sorry we missed you, our fault, but good to hear.
I am so delighted that you guys are busy keeping, all of these projects going, and I appreciate the effort to get us going also. Thank you.
Walter, I have your application on the screen. Would you like to tell me what page you'd like to start on, or?
Well, yeah, why don't we go to that first page of photographs? That would be probably the best place to start. Yeah, here. So I assume a lot of you know this very lovely house. It looks to me like it underwent two periods of expansion. There was an original block that you can see in that existing north elevation shot. Then they kind of poked out the side there to the left, and then they came out the rear. In the photos down below, you'll see there's a kind of, I think it was probably a bathroom extension that was put on the house late in the house's history. And then this rather remarkable deck that I'm not quite sure how that ever passed code, if it did. That was part of an elaborate fire escape system that you can see is literally kind of falling off the back of the building. So if you go down to the drawings now, maybe. Yeah, so this little line of drawings probably explains better than anything I could say what we'd like to propose to you all. Starting on the left at the existing west elevation, that's an elevation that's very close to John's house to the west. It's probably about 7.5 feet between the two houses. So the red area there would be that back porch that you can see in the photo just above. We, for obvious reasons, would like to take that off and start fresh. The only other modification that we're proposing, we'd like to take that, in looking at the existing south elevation photograph, we'd like to take that extension off. It's structurally unsound and really doesn't do the building any good, and also causes interesting drainage issues up at the roof level. So the existing south elevation on the right shows the extent of the demolition we'd like permission to do on the south side. This is the extensive side. So that whole right portion with the 3 windows stacked would come off where those 3 doors are shown. Those would come out of those locations, and the red area, those 2 levels of porches would come off. Then we're also asking permission to make the, I guess I'll call it the 3rd floor habitable. So to do that, we'd need to do a continuous shed dormer on the back. So we'd like to open the south side of the roof, leave the gable and, roof edge intact, but immediately behind that, put a shed dormer. So now if you could go down a little bit. Okay, I'll just take you through the plans very quickly. This is a roof plan of what it would look like if what we're asking for is accepted. You can see the new shed dormer there coming up, encompassing the chimney. The existing roof line would be preserved on either side and at the ends, so you would still have the gable ends at both ends of the building. Then we're putting a porch roof on the top of the existing porch, which we would replace, and then some site work. And then the other thing, let's see, could you go down now, please? Yeah, sorry, keep going. Yeah, so that's perfect. That's perfect. So, down a little bit more, sorry. In the lower right-hand plan, there's a pantry mudroom shown. In terms of what you would see from the street, I think the most impactful thing we're asking for is that new door and the new wood entry and steps. That's simply because the lot is wide enough to put a parking space to the east, so that would be the kitchen entry, essentially. And then if you keep going down. Okay, so this is good. So there is the shed dormer in section. You see what we would do is just take out that section of the roof on the south side, away from the street. And I think you can imagine from where the porch roof that we're showing there is that this addition would not be visible even from down below on the street to the south, that's way down the hill. This is not going to be visible. You'll see it a little bit from the side coming down Allen Street. And because John's house is immediately next door, not at all from that side. And then keep going. And then finally, all right, so these are the proposed elevations. So on the upper right is the view of that shed dormer up at the top. So you can see the roof plan is a little misleading because it looks like we're obliterating the existing roof line. We're not. We're simply bringing the shed roof out coplanar with that, but then everything else is set back. So if you go down a little bit more, please. Okay, to the next sheet. Yeah. Okay, there, perfect. So there, I think you can see it on the side, how it would look.
Right.
And that proposed east elevation, I think, captures the gist of it beautifully. The side has that new entry, and it has a canopy somewhat similar to what we put on the rear of 28 Allen Street, a little shed roof canopy with a gutter, and very simple wood steps this time, nothing fancy, and wood porch and railing at the back. Everything would be painted. The siding, all the wood would be painted, and then windows will all be, you know, new thermal on the sides and back, and we will restore the existing 2/2 windows on the street face. I think that's it.
So just to be clear, Walter, you're taking off the existing rickety decks on the back.
Yes,
and
that's,
And you're replacing them with this double level set of porches, right?
right. If you go up,
As the original?
yes, go up a little bit, tiny bit more. So you see that's it there, just above the drawing. If you
Right.
can zoom out, you can see the two together. The thing at the right side is gone, Miranda, so the porch would go all the way to the edge of the building.
Mhm.
And
Oh, I see.
basically, so what you would see from down below would be a 3-story, you know, I call this a piazza using that 19th century term.
Yeah.
3-story piazza. And my one little super cool architectural thing is the posts go from, I think, 10 inches to 6 inches. So they get a little thinner as they go up. So hopefully that from down below might look quite, you know, like it was a little bit grander than it really is.
And that front's on Partition Street, that side?
No, sorry, I'm blanking out. What's the street down below? You know, next to the market, next to Kitty's. This is looking down the hill from Allen. It's not Partition.
Got it.
I
Okay.
believe it's Cross Street.
Yes, thank you, Cross Street. So where the hotel is.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is up on the hill. You see, sorry, in the side view, you can see the steep hill going down. That goes down to Cross Street. And you literally cannot see this house from Cross Street because of plants, although it looks like the lot down below us is going to get developed.
All right.
What is the roof material for the dormer and the new porch roof?
There's, I think, I'm sorry, I think there's metal on the house now. Is there a note? And we're replacing the entire roof with whatever is there now. I believe it's metal, and we would do the porch roof in metal as well. I think that's right.
I can't see, let's see.
The roof,
Yeah.
it's a corrugated copper roof.
That's the little side piece there. The main roof, I'm sorry, I'm not seeing a note. That's interesting. So it would be metal, I believe. I think that's what's on there now, like a standing seam, and we just replace it, painted standard seam.
Okay.
And the windows are all wood, right?
Yeah, they're the kind of, it's a little bit of a mishmash. It looks to me like the 1/1 sash there was actually the old 2/2 windows they rebuilt. So I think it was originally 2/2, or, you know, it at one point was all 2/2. So that's what we're going for.
And the material for the windows?
Most likely wood that's clad on the outside. You know, they do that vacuum vinyl cladding, and you get them in black or dark green. Very nice. We've been doing that on most of our buildings, I think.
Are the specs on here?
I can't swear that they are.
Quick question to add to that, Walter. We're gonna need to know the specifications of the windows for enforcement purposes.
Okay.
Make sure that was approved, you add. And do you have a rendering of this roof in this proposal? Because I was gonna question that as well. An existing.
You mean a photograph?
Yeah.
Can we go back to the existing photographs? I'm sorry, my aging mind is not what it used to be. But we do have the pictures. So is there any indication anywhere, can anybody see a roof there in the existing west elevation? I'm pretty sure you can see it's the metal.
It's hard to know.
Yeah.
Well, can we specify it now?
Yeah, you're gonna have to specify something. It's not gonna be.
Well, I would say painted
Oh, no one's
standings.
there, so you gotta specify.
Okay,
Yeah, it's really hard to tell.
Is it metal standing seam you're doing?
yes, that's what we want to do. And I'm pretty sure that's what's on top there, although it's so hard to see that roof.
You want to come back to us with specifying that?
I could do that.
Yeah, and it looks like for the windows, the schedule just says, it's a description, but it doesn't go so far as to an actual spec.
Also
So,
the doors, if you're changing the doors now.
yeah, the door schedule's similar and it's in a description, but, oh no, you have some Simpson specs. I'm sorry, I just didn't see it.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I'm sorry we didn't include the specs on this, and I'm sorry I don't have the roof spec. I'll send that to you today.
And then we're painting, right?
And the siding's all wood, right?
Yes. And, we've had good luck just patching and repainting the existing wood on the building, so we're going to try and do that here as well. Same, you keep all the trims, obviously, and repair them as necessary.
It's going to be a massive improvement.
I'm sure.
Mhm.
House needs some TLC in the worst way.
It's not the worst I've had to deal with. It's at least, it's dry, and the parts that we want to keep are all in excellent condition. The house hasn't really settled at all. It's great.
Yeah, there's no specificity that I can find here, so about the roof on any of your notes, so.
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know anything else.
Are you good, Ken?
Well, it looks like that portion where that chimney is on the left, the north elevation, it looks like that roof is being added. Look at that
Sorry.
blue-
Can you say that again, Craig?
It looks like that portion's being added. If you go to the current elevations, go the other way. All the way down to the existing photos, or whatever, wherever they were.
So I put the existing right below the proposed on this set. So it is the one right below, yeah.
All right, so but go up to the actual photos. That's why I was confused with this too when I did the review. So when you look at the front of that building,
Can you zoom a little bit? please?
Oh, can I say something very quickly? There's a chimney in this photograph that is leaning precipitously, and
That's right.
that chimney no longer exists. These came off of Google Earth, and the first time I saw this building, that chimney was gone. So the chimney that we're showing is on the back side. And it may be, it's possible, that it's capped at the roof at this point. There is a fireplace directly below it. I hope I'm making sense. So there isn't a chimney that you see in the picture, but there's one there, yeah, on the back. So let me say this a better way. So the chimney that was shown on the front in the pictures is not there. We're going to put a new chimney just like it on top of where it is capped on the back. So there are there were dual fireplaces inside the house, so there were two chimneys. Does this make sense? So like if you looked at the gable, there'd be one on the left and one on the right. So we're basically switching from the photograph to a new chimney on top of where the old one is.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at, the front, by looking at the front of the building will actually show that you're adding that space to the back and that chimney, because that's, yep, see, if you look at that front of that building, you don't have that part that's gonna get added on, you don't see that, but now you will.
Wait, which part are you talking about, Craig? I don't know.
You're adding on to the top here of this, and the rear of the building.
Yeah, but
Right
you
there.
won't see it from the front view, you'd see it from the side view and the back. Because the
Right,
front,
because
it's
the
it's
chimney
blocked by the,
location.
it's blocked by the existing roof. It's in the shadow of the existing roof from the street looking straight on. Then as if you move up Allen Street and look back, you would see it, you know, kind of a side view, an angle view.
Right. No,
Like
that's
in
what
that
I'm
top-
asking.
Yeah,
In your,
no,
Well,
you're definitely like that top. Sorry.
What is the chimney gonna look like? Where, do you have a plan on here for it?
Yeah, it's on the roof plan. It looks exactly like the chimney in the photo, but it's on the other side of the roof ridge.
Right, I just want to make sure it's on the plan.
Sorry, so if you go down to the new plans, go down, 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 down. There. Okay, so there it is. Wait, see roof plan? Rebuild historic brick chimney. There it is. See it next to the existing roof note? There's
Are
the
you
chimney
using,
right there.
but you're saying rebuild, but where's the actual dimensions and we need like to know what it's gonna look like.
Well, okay, fair enough. I'll get that to you. We're basically building on top of the base that's there. You know, right now, as far as I can recollect, there is no chimney coming through the roof on the house. They were both capped. So we would simply rebuild this chimney to match the one that was there before, and we have that dimension because the base is that dimension. Does that make sense? So I will give you a proposal for that too.
okay, so just for clarity purposes, you're saying an existing chimney that's not existing.
Yes, exactly.
Full chimney there now, right?
There
No
are
chimney.
two fireplaces. No, sorry, the fireplaces are gone. There are two remains of chimneys down below under the roof line, and we want to come up out of the southern one with a new chimney
Okay,
to
so-
replicate the old.
Real quick, once again, looking at the roof of this building, is there a chimney there now extending above the roof line?
There is not physically an
Okay,
extant
that
chimney.
means there is no existing chimney.
Correct.
So you can give a detail of what you're proposing for a new chimney.
Okay, understood.
There you go.
So what, just to recap, what are the missing bits and how do you all want to handle it?
For code, for when I go inspect, you gotta have a detail of the chimney
Yeah,
and a detail of the approved roof. That's the only two I think that I caught.
And I think we want to know materials for the windows and doors. We want specs. for the
there
windows.
was a window spec, I believe.
There is
you
door
said.
spec.
Okay.
So
we need
could I-
window spec.
would it be workable if we got a provisional C of A so we could begin work on the large lift items, take those bits off the back of the building so we can begin work in earnest? And we would come back with a supplemental submission, hopefully next time that's appropriate to fill in the blanks. I mean, there are not many blanks, and for better or for worse, I can, you know, you can look at the buildings that I've been working on. This is Jay the Mason, who does a lot of Galvan's work, I think is taking this on as his project. And so we're just going to follow the formula, which is repair where we can, restore where we need to, and replace only when necessary. So if we could get some kind of go ahead on the big ticket items like the porch, the dormer, the structural items, and then fill in the blanks, would that be possible?
Victoria?
I mean, that's fine. Or how long do you need to get the specs to us? Could you, for the missing items?
I think I could do it by 5 o'clock this afternoon.
The other option for the board would be to approve it with the contingency that those specs, be provided, and then we'd review them before you vote at the next meeting. It's up to the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
That would be awesome. Thank you so much.
Any way you slice it, Walter, you're probably not gonna have a certificate covering everything for the next, till the next meeting.
No, that's fine. And I certainly appreciate this. These things take time. So I'm not trying to give you a bum's rush. You can see from the photographs, the building has lasted for a long time in its present condition. So I'm not thinking it's going to blow down between now and the next meeting. We just really are anxious to get in there with it mud season, stabilize it.
Understand.
Okay, great.
Well, Walter, just to move this forward on if you can get them out today, that's cool. But please when you do send them out, to Craig, if you will, to Jan, to myself
Okay,
and Victoria.
okay, done. Thank you guys so much for this.
Okay, so if we were to make a motion, it would be to pending Walter's delivery of the missing bits, including we're gonna need drawings and materials on the chimney to understand that. And we're gonna need specs and materials on the standing seam metal to understand that. And we're gonna need materials and specs on the windows to understand that. Pending all that, we can, I guess, find the application sort of complete, going forward. But we can't move forward with the C of A, can we?
Well, he's given you the idea of what the windows are going to look like. We're just looking for the actual spec sheets. It's up to you whether you feel that you have, and we know what standing seam metal roof looks like. Again, we're just looking for the spec sheet so that they can be enforced. It's up to you whether, you want to vote to approve the C of A with those contingencies.
No, Walter's issue is he wants to start on the demo and he can't without a certificate, so.
Well, yeah, if we approve the certificate with a contingency that he provide those specs, and he
Okay.
provides the specs before the next meeting.
Yeah, 'cause architecturally, it's not going to change it, these specs.
Understand.
We know what it is.
And you can't do anything until you get a certificate anyhow.
Okay.
Mhm.
So we can approve the application with the contingencies described.
Yeah.
And then if it's acceptable to Craig and to Victoria, we can move forward and vote on a C of A at the next meeting.
Right.
Okay. Motion to approve as discussed. You and Miranda, all in favor?
Aye.
Done.
Thank you so much. This is great, and really looking forward to seeing the results of our collaboration on this. I think it's going to be a nice house.
Thank you, Walter.
Walter.
Thank you.
And I have a hand raised from Mr. Kopnicki. Ronald?
Yes, thank you. I would like to ask that whatever materials Mr. Chatham has presented or will present in revised format before you finally vote be made available on the website in commission documents in advance of whatever vote you take. And I don't know when or if the commission gets to see these materials in advance of meetings, but I think it would be very useful both to the commission and to the public if materials could be provided ahead of meetings and posted on the website ahead of meetings. So if the public for example, does want to comment on anything, we have something, we have some information to comment on and to familiarize ourselves with ahead of any discussion. Thank you. And Matt McGee may also want to say something.
Yes, this house is rather prominent and important, and is, part of Allen Street. And it was the Greek Revival house. It was altered later in the 19th century. And I really don't have an understanding of what's happening with the doorway on the front of the building. I really didn't understand exactly what's happening where that part is being torn off. There seems to be something being rebuilt there. Unfortunately, seeing these specs on the computer screen, especially as it is now, it's very hard to see what things are really being done. And I think the public should be able to understand what's happening. Thank
I
you.
agree. So,
But I
as the
think there
spec-
should be clarity on the front of the house. I think there should be clarity on that addition on the side. It's not clear at all for the public, and I don't imagine it's entirely clear for you guys if this is when you're first seeing all this stuff.
we're not first seeing it. Walter had this application in a while ago, so.
Well, why didn't the public get to see it in advance?
I'm not disagreeing with anything you said. I'm trying to just say going forward, we will get the specs from Walter today or Monday. As soon as we have those specs, we'll post them. Jan will post them on the city website, and I think that will clarify a lot.
Been a recurring problem for the public that we learn of things at the last minute on the day they're happening. We're left in the dark, and apparently these specs were available to be posted, and they weren't.
Some people are actually missing.
Well, even the ones you have could have been useful, but in any case, it doesn't seem like a complete application. It's being treated as such. Everything seems rather irregular. Anyway, thanks again.
Okay, good, thank you. Commissioners? I think we heard you. So, I think we're finished. Motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
You and Miranda? Thank you so much, and thank you, everybody, for the comments.
Thank you.
Thank you.